Hello and welcome to JavaScript customization video. In this video we are going to take a look on required JS configuration, overwriting JS components using map configuration, and overwriting JS component methods using mixin configuration. So, required JS configuration can be managed under view. For front-end area, it's front-end directory, and right here we'll create a file called require.jsconfig.js. So in this file we can manage required JS configuration, and required JS is used for loading most files and most JS components on Magento. Let's take a look how using required JS configuration we can replace a complete file. So let's declare config variable equals to dictionary map key is responsible for mapping, and inside map we can specify a module for which we are overwriting the file or the component. For this example I would like to rewrite for all modules or all components. I am adding star, and what I would like to rewrite is validation script of Magento, and this is mage/validation because it's located under lib web mage validation.js. So we're going to override this script with our script. It will be located under our module mastering sample module under JS validation. Now let's create this file. So for require config.js all path starts with web directory. So the JS validation is path under our module view frontend web. Let's create a JS directory here, JS, and I would like to copy the original validation file from mage validation, put it under frontend web.js, and here I'd like to change just one string, one line, to make sure that a file from our module is loaded instead of original one. And I'm going to find required message, and here it is. So this is a message used for required fields, and I will add custom suffix to make sure that this file is loaded instead of original one. Now let's go to frontend and check it. However, first I would like to remove cache and static content. Static content in Magento 2 is located under pub static, and required.js folder is used for required.js configuration. As we change this configuration, we have to remove this file. Also, frontend. In some mods, it contains all JS files gathered through all modules. So, if you are using production mod, you have to clean this folder as well and redeploy static content. In development mode, it's okay to leave it. However, I would like to clean it anyway, just to ensure that everything is generated from scratch. The same I'm going to do with cache, page cache, and view preprocessed folders. Removing cache directory if you are storing cache in file system is alternative to cache flush command of Magento that we used before. Now let's go to frontend and refresh the home page. So the home page has one field that will help me test my extension, my mapping. And this is email subscription field. As you can see, clicking attempt to subscribe with empty email field will show us this is a required field custom message. It means that our file from our module is overriding default validation file. However, you might notice that this file is very big. That's why we might want to override just part of a file. And for this purpose, we can include mixin configuration that allows us to get the original JS component returned from the original file and extend it. To use mixin, we have to add config mixins dictionary, and here we have to specify the component we would like to override. For this example, I would like to override my own, to extend my own component, which is overriding match validation, to show how versatile extension can be. And for my own mastering sample module JS validation, I will add a mixin. Let's call it mastering sample module JS validation mixin. And the value is true for this mixin to work. Now let's go and create this mixin file. Under JS directory, I will create JavaScript file named validation mixin.js. Okay. For this mixin, I will do a very simple operation. So inside I will define a function with just one simple object declared. It's extension with isValid function, and this function is returning just true. So extending validation instance, extending validation widget using such object will make all fields valid on Magento frontend. And finally, we are getting function that is accepting target that will be, in our case, our validation.js, and we are going to extend this target with the extension overriding isValid method of validation.js. Now I'm going to clean static and cache and check this implementation on frontend. Refreshing home page. If the mixin is functioning correctly, we shouldn't get any validation messages, because all fields will be treated as validated. So when we click on subscribe button, the page is reloaded, so the attempt to subscribe was actually done, and field was treated as valid. Using mixins, you can override any method of any JS component this way. With map, you can replace complete files. Thank you for your attention. In this section, we learned about DI preferences, arguments, and virtual types, used observers and plugins, and added customizations using layout configuration and JavaScript required JS configuration. Thank you.